And we're here.
That's right. We're live. It's
We
two
are
shows in a
live.
row. 2 shows in a
It
row
is.
without a drink of water.
It is. It is.
Breaking records,
We're
setting
doing good.
records. Yeah, dude.
How's the week starting out?
Bro, it's solid. It's a solid week. I wrote this Jimmy Jammy.
Ooh, your new workbook.
I did it. I had, told you I was going to get it done.
Hell yeah.
I did. So that's cool. It's nice
like
to
it.
officially have, it's the Sober Dad's Playbook, helping you score points where it matters most. Yeah. To get sober and, reconcile relationships with your wife, children, that kind of thing. It's been a long time coming. I had a action threshold issue where I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it was. And then I just kind of sat down and let my fingers do the tippy tapping, and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. They come together pretty quick.
Yeah. I did that all through college too. It's like, oh man, I'm scared of this. And then you do it and then you get a good grade and you're like, oh, what was I freaked out about?
Yeah.
So
I think that's a lot. I think that has to do with a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
It's that seeking discomfort thing that we harp on people about.
Yeah. We're still human. I mean, I know I'm still human.
I definitely am.
Like, I can't speak for Ryan, but definitely it's like that was difficult to convince myself to do. But now that it's done, I honestly look forward to writing something else.
Nice.
So
how's everybody's week going? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
How it's starting out.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see where you're at, what time it is, most importantly. Not gonna lie, that's my burning question right now. So where are you at and what time is it where you are? So what's good with you, man?
Welcome to Dylan in the Dock. Who are you? What part are you?
And I'm Dylan, and I am the resident sobriety expert. I am the founder of I'm Not Your Sponsor. No steps, just sobriety, man. That's the way it works. Working with dads, helping them get sober, stay sober, reconcile with their wife. I don't really do the relationship reconciling. If you have real issues with that, you got to talk to that guy. But sometimes doing the sober thing and actually just putting in the work to get sober, doing the work, not just getting sober, but doing the work, can handle most of that for you. And then if you need some extra boost, like I said, there's a dude over there you can talk to. So yeah, that's who I am. Who are you?
I'm Dr. Ryan. I'm, as Dylan put it, the resident relationship expert.
Yeah.
So I have expertise in interpersonal communication and relationship development. I take your relationship from stagnant to thriving through my program, one of my programs, and help you. I just give you the tools to do better in your relationship. Be a better father, be a better husband, be a better boyfriend, and keep on rocking it out so that relationship lasts forever and you do not become a statistic.
That's what's up. A statistic. Nobody wants to be that.
You don't want to be a statistic.
It's a bummer. I am a statistic, no matter how I shake it now. Because I fell into I'm classified as having alcohol use disorder, alcoholic, whatever the hell you want to call it. They put me in a box, put a label on me, and eventually I'm going to be the other end of the statistic. I've stayed sober long enough to still be in the box, but not be in the box, whatever that means to these people. But hey, I can help you stay from being the statistic, which is the DUI. Hey, how about that? Boca, Florida. What's up? We got some people in South Carolina. We got some people in Florida. Did you mute yourself on purpose, homie?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I'm playing with two screens and the other one's lagging, so you hear us talking.
I was like, I can't hear you.
No, I was saying I have a friend in Boca Raton.
Oh, nice.
Like that area.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I only been to a mastermind event like 2 years ago in Florida. It was cool. Uh, I don't know if I assume you've been to some sort of events or conferences, having been a professor and stuff. But
Yes, I've been to more than I care to.
yeah, just like when I went to the one in France too, it's no different. Like you go there for you're there for work. So it's like, yeah, I was in. I want to say, I think I was in Orlando, but I didn't like do any of the Orlando and stuff. I just went to the mastermind, went to my Airbnb,
Yeah,
back, Ubered back and forth, and got on a plane and went back home. So
nice.
yeah, dude, it's cool though. Um, hey, thanks for popping in, man. Stoked to hear that you're doing great. That's what we're here for. Maybe, hopefully, something that we said imparted some sort of knowledge that helped you along the way. And if it didn't, I'm stoked either way to hear that you're doing great, whether we
Yeah.
had something to do with it or not. So that's what's up. You got any burning topics you want to crush on today?
No, I kind of wanted to hear that one you were talking about, though.
Hey, okay, we could do that. I'm cool with
I
that.
kind of want to hear an answer on that because I think it transitions into relationships, and we've talked a little bit about it as well. But yeah, go ahead and let's hear this burning question you have.
I could do that. So, somebody, yeah. By the way, guys, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. We will answer them. Especially on the late night shows like this, because these are just kind of like fireside chats. So if you've got something you want to discuss, let us know. So an audience member had asked if I thought that being older is a motivator for people to get sober instead of when you're younger and invincible. And I don't think so. The statistics wouldn't say so. The only difference, if you even want to call it that, is there is social pressure when you're younger to like do stupid stuff with your friends, including drink heavily and that kind of thing. But
I would say that spans the lifetime.
hey, I had a butt, man. I was almost
Oh,
there.
okay,
I was almost
okay.
there. But it doesn't stop just because you get older. It just comes from different people. Like
Mhm.
none of those social pressures don't go away.
No.
You have to rise above the peer pressure. Doesn't matter if you're 15 with a bit of a drinking problem, you need to get sober, or 51. Like that's just the reality. Unfortunately, getting older, like sobriety doesn't come with age. If it did, you wouldn't see people die of cirrhosis and all sorts of other liver issues and just health issues that are related to drinking.
Yeah.
Because people get bad news. I had a doctor that told me I needed to quit drinking or I was probably going to kill myself, and I like sobered up for a while and then I went back to drinking. So like,
Yeah.
hey, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and I think like you hit on it really well when you said the people change. And I want to reiterate to people that personal growth, while it is personal, it also depends on the type of people you surround yourself with.
Bingo.
That saying that you hear everywhere is so true. Hang out with 3 broke people, you're going to be the 4th broke person. Hang out with 3 addicts, you're going to be the 4th addict.
Yeah.
You hang out with 3 successful millionaires, you're going to be the 4th successful millionaire. That's just how it works, because you are put in positions to succeed because you are around people who are driven for success and
Yep.
driven to do good. So yeah, if you're hanging around a bunch of dudes that are playing golf, getting hammered, acting like assholes, you're going to be the next person who's hanging out, playing golf, drinking, acting like an asshole.
Pretty much. Yeah. I would agree. It's tough because we don't like to see that. Like we don't like to accept that.
Yeah.
When we're in the thick of it, it's like, no, my friends are great. They want what's best for me. Like, most of us are pretty self-serving. Like even like a lot of the things I do are for other people, but like I'm still number one. Sorry,
Yeah.
everybody. Like at the end of the day, it's me I'm looking after. Um, your friends are all the same way. So you may think like they wouldn't allow you to drink when you shouldn't and that kind of stuff, but like some of them will. You should maybe get rid of those friends too, by the way. Just
And
saying.
it's not that your friends are bad people, it's that you should have higher expectations for your life and yourself,
Boom. Yeah.
and hang around people who have higher expectations of themselves
Yeah. And for you.
and for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's
But
that's a,
even those people who just have high expectations of themselves, you're going to fall in line with them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Whether they right, because it is their number one in their lives.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they're going to be, and it's going to force you to become number one in your life. Because I think a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong, in active alcohol use or drug use, they put themselves second to everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super common actually. The, there's like a couple different reasons. I don't want to journey too far in the rabbit hole into that because that's not really what we're talking about. But I think um, part of it is like it's a race to the bottom when you're
Yeah.
an addict. Okay. And when you're hanging out with successful people, it's a race to the top. And like you generally don't get left behind when it's a race to the bottom because everyone's just kind of sinking at different
Mhm.
rates. But when you're soaring, if you don't know how to fly, man, you're gonna get left behind. Like that's it. So it's like you can hang out with scum forever, and they'll hang out with you like no matter what's going on until you try to fly. Then they'll
Mhm.
either try to drag you down or they don't want to hang out because
Yeah.
then they have to. You're a mirror, and they're not
Yeah.
keen on that. But yeah, I think we become people pleasers
Yeah.
in addiction. You have to in order to support your misbehavior.
Mhm.
It's like sweep a little bit under the rug, but clean the whole living room, and everyone still likes you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just kind of the way it goes, man. Man, we got some comments coming in, guys. I'm sorry, I'm gonna
We
be
do. No, that's all
distracted
right.
for
Like
just
I
a
think
second.
I think this one goes well with what we're talking about. We can talk a little bit about his other comment later on where he's asking about the physical symptoms and when do those start going away.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that.
Let's stick on this one for a second.
I'm into it.
Hit hard. Like, yes, when you're in the depths of despair, I don't care whether it's alcoholism, and Dylan can correct me on this. I don't care if it's alcoholism, addiction, whatever the case may be. You have put your self-esteem and self-worth through the ringer.
Yeah.
And you start working on it by being present in your own life. And in my case, and what I work with people on, you're present in your own life. You are working on exercising, so you're working on your physical health. You're learning new things. You're working on your mental health. You're eating right. You are drinking liquids. You're working on self-talk. You're working on, like, there's a lot of things you have to retrain yourself to do. And positive affirmations, like talking better to yourself, is probably one of the most powerful things you can do to yourself.
Yeah. Amen to all that, all those things. Yeah, I mean, you're like, I'm working on a course and I just was putting a module together about that. And it's like, you can't go by a liquor store after having a conversation with your head all day, like rehearsing, like think like Cool Runnings in the bathtub,
Mhm.
like, doing this, telling yourself you weren't going to stop and then stopping. You can't do that for weeks, months, or years on end and still have self-esteem or believe, like have any sort of self-worth, because it was you versus you every time. Like I know we want to throw alcohol in the equation, but it was you versus you.
Yeah.
Every time that you, my steering is broken, it keeps pulling over to the liquor store. Like every time that happened, you lost a battle to yourself. So
Mhm.
you can't feel good about yourself. when that's all said and done, which
Yeah.
is kind of what makes it so dang hard to get
Yeah.
sober, because you're black and blue from your own punches, and when you go toe to toe with yourself again, you're like, I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to get beat up again by my own self,
Yeah.
And I don't have a whole lot to add
The
to
one
what.
the one thing I'll add is, like, when it comes to self esteem, self worth, you need to find somebody to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Like, you need to reach out. I mean, that's why people like Dylan and people like I have our programs, is to
Yeah.
help people in these exact situations. They aren't just out there in the ether for whatever reason. And also, like, you can listen to our podcasts and we encourage you to do so, but that'll only get you so far, because we don't talk specifically about what's going on in your life. There's not
Yeah,
that one-on-one accountability.
Right.
I hope that makes sense, Tony.
Yeah.
Let us know if that helped.
Yeah, for real. I love some feedback. I want to pop this up real quick. Hey, you get a double dose today, Tavish. Yeah, definitely, Tony. Let us know. Do you want me to hit the other one that he did? real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead and
I'll click
hit this
it.
other one.
Almost 2 days, latest shot at sobriety, not having any rough physical symptoms, but I'd like to start working out again. Just don't have much energy or motivation. When does that generally start to turn around? Motivation occurs as a result of past success. So that will turn around as soon as you start going to the gym again. As much as you don't like to hear that, probably, but it's the truth. So yeah, if you want that, the motivation to come back, then you need to start doing things. And the energy will follow. Like, I work out at least 5 days a week, and I have more energy on the days I work out than I do on my rest days. And it has to do with just the way our body primes itself. So if you want some energy back, you can also start exercising. And I'd also like to point out, you can just go get 20 minutes of like fresh air, go for a walk, a brisk walk. That's better than nothing. You don't need to go become the next, power lifter in order to start taking care of yourself today. Ease into it, man. Yeah.
There, like, one of the things I'll add to that, at first, you're not going to have the motivation. It's going to, and we talked about this on Friday, it's going to take discipline, and something you're going to have to build up is your discipline. You have to make yourself do these things. The motivation will follow.
Yeah.
But you can't rely on motivation, or you'll never get started, because you're never going to be that motivated to get started. And then you rely on the motivation and it's not there the next day. It has to become the discipline.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Tony, Trisha kind of answered your question as well. I've been with her since like the beginning of her sober journey, and she said she's got more energy than she's ever had. Started around 2 weeks. So, I mean, that was, I don't know. I mean, everybody's a little bit different because we're all going to take a different approach to how it goes. I hit the ground running, like literally hit the ground as soon as because I had pretty significant withdrawals. As soon as I went through that, it was like, I want to go to the gym. I want to start running. I want to start eating healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Researched foods that are good for the liver. Researched ways to increase, not increase, but naturally experience dopamine, because I knew that's part of why you're not feeling motivated, is that your body is wasting all of the dopamine it has to try to motivate you to get alcohol, and you're telling it no, which then it gets pissed, and you're just riding that roller coaster for right now. But if you want it back, honestly, like, exercise is one of the best ways you can naturally start to influence the amount of dopamine that's produced, especially if you're capable of doing the kind of cardio necessary to get that like runner's high that they talk about. Like, there's a lot of research about how quickly you can heal those parts of the brain through that kind of cardio. So yeah.
I like this. horrible overthinker. Still a part of my mind that doesn't understand why I can't think my way out of this.
Because
There's no amount of think. It's a due process.
yeah, and we're not talking law here.
This is an action thing.
Totally. Yeah. The other thing too is like, I have clients like this all the time. Like, I don't understand. Like, I've been trying to do this for years. I work with you for like a month. I've been sober the longest I have in a long time. It's like, because the same thinking that you did to get you into this problem is the same thinking you're trying to use to get out of this problem. And it just doesn't work that way.
No.
Like, you can't. I heard someone once say, it's like, I can't fix what's in my head with what's in my head, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth to be said there. Other thing too is like, I don't know. I'm making some generalizations here, but like it's particularly worse in males because we know everything, and nobody's going to tell me that I can't get sober, or that I need to get sober, or how to get sober, or any of those things. So we'll like pound our head against the wall until our forehead's a bloody pulp, with no results, and curious like why you got something dripping off your nose. Like, it's just really silly. But yeah, don't think through it. Just do it. It's one of those things. I've never thought myself sober yet, you know, or worked with anybody that did.
Inaction it breeds failure.
Yep. Yeah.
And I hate to put it as sternly as that, but like it does. You have to take action. You're not going to lose by taking action.
Yeah.
You're not. You're going to gain something.
Yeah.
You're going to gain knowledge. So you're going to gain more things to think about. You're going to gain knowledge. You're going to gain experience. You're going to get muscle memory. Like all of these things are going to add up, but they won't, and they can't add up until you start doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna I will butcher the title. It's like something regrets of the dying. It's a number. It's a list, right? New York Times bestseller. What, like, all the people that are on their deathbeds that are talking about the things they regret, I got news for you. None of it is that they did something. It's that they didn't do a thing.
Yeah.
You know, like indecision is a decision. Inaction is an action. Yeah. Worst case scenario, you take another stab at getting sober from a new angle that you've never tried before, and it works this time. Yeah, you got to implement.
Is it top 5 regrets of the dying?
Yeah, that's probably it.
A life transformed. Yeah, that'd be a good book. But yeah, you don't necessarily, yeah, you definitely regret the things you didn't do. Like I regret the things I don't say. I do.
I didn't know you kept anything to yourself, man.
I do. Like I've gotten a lot better at it over the years.
Gotcha.
But I think it's experience, and it's experience both working with people, research, and my own experience that like today I know, like I know when I take an action, if I don't say something, especially in my relationship, right away to mitigate it, to apologize, to do something, own up to my actions, it's only going to get worse.
Dude.
And like tonight, something came up at dinner. This is nothing bad. And I immediately, like 5 minutes in, I was like, I need to say something. I was like, listen, this is what's going on. I got to talk about it. Like, I feel like I did something wrong here. And it squashed it immediately. Like nothing's going on in my head. It's not altering so it was
that right there, what you just said.
I better put this into better context. So we're sitting there having dinner.
I'm like, what did you do?
No. And Melissa was disciplining her child.
Mm-hmm.
And we have never talked about it. We've never done anything like that. Has never been an issue. She's a super good kid. Love the kid to death. Always super good. Something came up and I felt uncomfortable. So I kind of stepped away for a second. Right when I stepped away, I was like, this is not something a supportive person would do. But her and I had also never talked about like
how to handle it,
actions, how to handle it. So I stepped away, and then we talked about it like 2 minutes later. I was like, listen, I will always support you. I will always have your back. I will never go against you when it comes to disciplining your child.
Yeah.
And she's like, it wasn't a big deal. I was like, no, but I felt
Yeah,
like
it was.
it was a big deal to me. But just that instant that I feel it, that I think it, I say it,
hmm
because otherwise it's going to breed more and more BS by overthinking because
Yep.
I'm not doing.
Totally. Yeah, that's like dude, I'd rather lose sleep resolving a conflict than lose sleep not resolving a conflict. Because I'm gonna lose sleep either way. Like
Yeah.
I'm either gonna stay up discussing the matter, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay up discussing the matter in my head with an imaginary freaking person,
Yeah.
and then maybe not even talk about it in the morning. That's what's actually worse is
Yeah.
like letting it just like up, it'll go away. It will
Mhm.
until it comes back, because that same until you resolve the pattern, the cycles,
Yeah.
they're coming back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're gonna deal with it. You can either deal with it and resolve conflict as it occurs, or you can deal with it later when it sucks. Um, yeah. I mean,
Oh, here we go.
deal with the skeletons in your closet before they turn into skeletons, folks. Like,
Yes.
while they're still bodies, okay? Like,
Yeah. While they're warm.
yeah, for real.
We talked about journaling. Still hard to motivate self to write. Yeah, it's
yeah, dude.
and again, Trisha, it's for me, it's the discipline thing. It's having a routine, and 30 minutes every day at the same exact time, you just sit down and write.
I have a friend out in California who's he's like a mindfulness and meditation coach.
Uh-huh.
And he asked me this because I had sent him a video of me flipping through the Sober Dad's playbook.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, he asked me a little bit about it. And he was like, don't you have troubles getting like your male clients to journal? Like, and he was like, well, just your clients. And I was like, it's not so bad with the women most of the time. And the men can be, but you just don't take guff from them. It's like, this is what you're doing. Like, it's one of the daily non-negotiables. Sorry. Like,
Uh-huh.
it was not up for debate when you started this program, but it is exactly what Ryan said. You know, like, I just asked 20 minutes from somebody. You do it right before bed, or do it first in the morning. Like, I don't care how or when you want to do it, but you pick, honestly, bedside type style, because then it's just a thing you do. And habits aren't created in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. They're created from repetition. So if you could even convince yourself to journal twice a day, you're going to turn into a habit faster, just so you know.
Like, these things are amazing. If you want to see a journal, there you go.
The
like,
pocket journal.
It is the pocket journal. Sit down and just type it out. Like,
Yep.
Technology has taken away a lot of excuses.
All of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah. I want to hit.
So, Seth, Tuesdays we doing it this time. Fridays 3 p.m. Central, and every other Friday for right now we do another one at 9 p.m. Central.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this actually. I don't know why I've never thought about doing this before. I'm gonna just drop a link for him real quick. I should be able to. Yeah, that will just take him because what I've been doing is every single. Every month I will post a new, like, I don't know, concert flyer, event flyer, whatever you want to call it, on our Facebook page for Dylan and the Doc. That'll keep everything straight, so you know which is the every others that's going on. So there you go. That should do it. You mind if I pop Sherry's question up?
Yeah, hit it.
So why can some people drink and stop at 2 or 3 and others drink till they pass out? Time and frequency. that's in a nutshell. You can throw some heritability in there. You can throw some different genetic factors
Mhm.
until you're blue in the face. You go ahead and do that. I don't care. Fight me. It's still just time and frequency. I don't even care. Like, you could have the deck completely stacked against you, like to where you 100% would become an alcoholic if you drank. You just never drank. It's not a problem. Like,
Yeah.
that's so it all comes. If you don't include the environmental factor of drinking, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
So that's it. If you drink until you pass out, it's because you've spent too many nights drinking until you passed out. And now that's just what you do. So is that adequate, you think?
Yeah. Well, and also I would add, I don't think there's any scientific evidence because the brain is, we just don't understand enough about it to answer that, where it's like, this is why some people stop at 2 or 3 and this is why some people don't.
Totally. Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
No, because
It is luck of the draw, like Dylan said.
yeah. You can even, you start like, this is like, bring this up to your therapist or your drug counselor, and they're going to do a backflip and hate you. But
Yeah.
there's spontaneous remission. Okay. Like, that's the thing. You will have somebody that's like full blown alcoholic, drinking a fifth a day or whatever, and then they just get sober. And the interesting part is they will get sober without withdrawals or anything. Like, they just get sober. Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. So with that being said, you kind of like stop and just consider that all of these things are very much written, interestingly enough, for like the exception instead of the rule. It's like the opposite with this kind of thing. So I don't know. Hopefully you're not in the camp where you have to drink till you pass out. If you are, maybe you stop drinking till you pass out.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents. So
yeah,
so,
I have no idea on that.
I don't know. I'm not here to pick fights with you, Barb, but there's way more to it than just that.
There is.
Yeah, it's a pretty complex matter.
It's saying that, I mean, when you say addictive behavior, you're saying that addiction is a trait rather than a state.
Yes.
Which there's no evidence for.
Yeah. That's them's fighting words, what you just said, Dr. Ryan. You know that.
Oh, I know they are, but
we hold it a united front on that position, though. It's just why we get along.
Scientifically, I can back mine up, though.
Yes. So then, let's see. Tony, I just want to throw this up for just a second. We appreciate you coming out. Yeah, I can say this is 2 or 3 of my favorite nights or day times of the week when we go live. It's always a blast. I really enjoy it.
My anxious brain hates your simple logical answer.
Oh, look at us doing the thing. Yeah, of course. Always. Dude, lean into the anxiety. It's not something you're going to hear from a lot of people, but if you lean into it, it's check engine light. It's telling you that you need to do something. So figure out what it is. It's probably telling you to listen to me and do something about the logical answer.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you want to gallivant across the internet about right now?
Oh, we can gallivant anywhere we would like.
It's our show.
I mean, there's been a lot of them. That 5th is getting way too easy to finish.
That is not a good place to be. It's like bringing me back to like my darkest days.
Yeah.
That was heavy. It was not the time of my life, man.
I will say I did not spontaneously quit. I consciously quit, but I also consciously started back up.
Yeah.
Like they are conscious decisions, and when you take that away from yourself, you rob yourself of accountability.
Dude. Yeah. It's like one of the greatest predictors of sobriety success is the person's belief and their ability to overcome it. Which is a strange concept because the medical community is so damned determined that it's a disease that you can't overcome, but their own findings are if you think that you can, then they do. So it's just like, well, okay. And then again, like I said, this spontaneous remission, you throw that into the mix, and then like, sorry, all bets are off all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But it is conscious. I love that you pointed that out, because I have Jan, one of our viewers, her and I, she's in one of my mentorship groups, and we talk about how like the empowering part of the Doc and I's message is, I think, our most powerful part. Because I'm not here to rob you of your ability to make a decision. I'm not here to say you're an alcoholic, you're doomed, you can never be around alcohol again, you can't go to parties, like just all these things, because that's like, that sucks. And it's not true. Like, I'm living proof of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't like robbing people of accountability by allowing them to say that these are not conscious decisions that they're making.
Yeah. 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 You're taking the consequences away from them either direction.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, it's not what?
Here. Expand on the.
I love a lot of what this guy's dropping.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little personal for like you are going to know your anxiety experience, because it's a physical sensation, right? It is going to be for everyone. It is a physical sensation. So when you start to know what that is, then you can start to think about where it's coming from. Like for me, it'll be like right here. It's like a gut feeling, sort of. Like I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry. Almost, it's kind of like an emptiness. And for me, I got lucky because my brain would try to get me to compulsively buy stuff. Like it was like I don't know why they went hand in hand. That was how I tried to like solve my anxiety. What I started leaning into though was like, if I feel that feeling, then I'm starting to think about buying shit I don't need, then there's a thing I need to do. And what is the thing that I'm putting off? Because that's the thing with it for me, with my anxiety and most people's. Anxiety is actually like a motivating force trying to get you to take some sort of action. It's not designed to paralyze you, but we become paralyzed because we live in a world of infinite distraction and infinite deadlines all at the same time. Like we cannot do everything in one lifetime that we wish to achieve. It's just not doable. So then we're just like, I don't know which one to do, right?
Yeah.
So just start doing them. Like, just if you feel anxiety, get the hell up off the couch, crawl out of that hole, and go get one of the bucket list things off. I'm not saying go skydiving, but like it could be something as simple as like putting the laundry away, like for real. And like all of a sudden, boom, you are now more motivated to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then I'm not saying you'll ever wake up without anxiety. You'll wake up with less though. How about that?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And that, I mean, it's a similar thing in relationships. Like there are check engine lights, and those are your reactions to situations. You know, the instance you say something or do something, if it doesn't feel right, that's your check engine light coming on, and you have to make a conscious decision at that point. Am I going to allow this to go on, or am I going to own up to my actions immediately, take extreme accountability, and make the situation better?
That accountability is a big one, especially in the addiction world, because that's one of my biggest beefs with the recovery community, is that they use the addiction as an escape from accountability. Like I don't have to own up to what I'm doing because like it's a disease. I'm like, no, dude, sorry, it's just not how it works. So
yeah, it's like that thing we were talking about last week, the old habits dying hard. You can say all you want that I was raised this way, to talk this way to people. I've been doing it this way for so long. Those are all BS answers, and they're excuses to not take accountability and change your behavior.
Totally. I want to throw this one up real quick. I don't think so. I think like we like to put different addictions on pedestals if it's our addiction. It's the hardest one. But I mean, I've quit a lot of things throughout the years, and for me, actually, alcohol wasn't the hardest. It's the easiest to socially justify. I'll go with that. I'll take that route. But as far as the addiction itself, um, no, like for me, chewing tobacco was the hardest one to quit. It was way hard.
Dude,
Uh,
nicotine is a
Yep.
nightmare.
Yep. Yeah. I'm nicotine free for right about a year at this point. But it sucked. It was super hard. It took me 3 years of um, hit and missing. You know, I might get a day or so here or there, that kind of thing. But I don't see a reason to make anything a hardest. We don't need a hyperbolic approach to such a complicated matter, as far as I'm concerned. So,
No, yeah, that's right. Don't complicate something that's already complicated. Let's try to simplify this as much as possible
Yeah.
here.
Like, hey, addiction is difficult and science is not 100% settled on it. But which one's the hardest? I'm not doing that with you, you know?
I talked to
So-
my brother about these things because Trisha says, not giving up the e-cig yet. Like he quit smoking and then he tried to quit one of these. He said it was 10 times harder than quitting smoking to quit these. And I can see how, because it doesn't have a smell. You can do it anywhere. It does, like, and I'll be the first to admit it. I am stuck to this thing and I hate it. I was just talking to Melissa about it today. I was like, this thing has got to go. She's like, what can I do to help? I was like, I appreciate that. There's nothing, like, this is all on me.
You just got to quit sucking that Robo Wang, bro. Like,
I know.
I fortunately never hopped onto the vape trend, like, at all. It was never a thing. I always joked with people, said I did the old fashioned way, because I smoked until a little bit before I quit chewing. But it is, I already talked about it. It is frequency and repetition. That's it. And with an e-cig, because of everything that the doc just said, like, there's nothing stopping you. But that's why chewing got me over smoking, because like
Yeah.
I don't smoke in my house. When I smoked, I wouldn't smoke in my house. So there was a action threshold that determined whether I really wanted nicotine or not. But chewing tobacco, I'd sit at my computer, I just crank out work and just chew. Like, so it all of a sudden there was not anything barring me from doing it. The only thing that might slow me down is like nothing. So that's it. And to quit, I had to identify habit stacks. Like, what did the chewing tobacco go with? Like, I quit coffee for a while when I quit, because they were married to one another. So I had to give that up. I couldn't quit eating, even though they were kind of married to one another. I had to obviously still do that. But that was how I ended it. So
I threw so I'll make this story short, but
you don't have to.
It was 5 years ago is when I quit smoking. And it's because I went to the doctor, wasn't feeling good. I had low red blood cell count.
Ooh.
And he thought it could have been like a blood cancer or a bone marrow cancer. When I heard that, I was so freaked out that I crushed him up walking out of the doctor's office, threw him away, and I never went back. But I also asked him, I was like, what about these? He's like, well, it's better for you than smoking. So right then, it allowed me to. But then I went through 6 months of genetic testing and stuff like that. I was so scared for 6 months that I had like a mutation in my bone marrow or blood cancer or something. And it all came back negative, thankfully, and my red blood cell came back up. Well, it was because the carbon dioxide in cigarettes was latching onto my red blood cells. And so they couldn't oxygen couldn't latch onto the red blood cell.
Really?
So my body was creating more red blood cells than it needed to get me more oxygen.
Well, you don't have blood cancer, thank God.
I don't have it, but I've never smoked again. It scared me that bad.
Dude,
now I'm stuck on this stupid thing.
Hey, you know, there's a giant crowd rallying around you, letting you know that you're not alone.
I see that. I see that.
Dude, there's your next coaching venture if you ever want to. You actually give that thing up and teach people how to do it, bro. You just it's your $1 million idea.
The
right
thing
there.
is, nicotine's actually good for you. The nicotine itself. It's
I
not
gotta see
bad.
the science on that. I heard that about
Oh, I'll show
alcohol
it.
for
I'll show
about.
it. I'll show it to you. It's there.
I
Like the
believe you.
nicotine itself isn't bad for you. It's everything else in cigarettes. It's everything else in this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's addictive.
Yeah.
Like that's the downfall of it, is it's addictive.
Yeah,
But
well,
it does have health benefits, nicotine by itself.
I can see that. Yeah, it's the medium.
Yeah.
Ethanol, folks, on the other hand, doesn't. And there's not enough tannin in a glass of wine. You couldn't drink enough glasses of wine to consume the amount of tannin necessary to, like, provide you with health benefits. So, sorry.
Yes. Well, I'm glad everybody rallied behind me. Let me know that this e-cig is going to be an absolute nightmare to get rid of.
So that was your takeaway, huh? That's your takeaway.
That was my takeaway, was this thing is going to suck to get rid of.
My takeaway is I'm screwed. Great. No, I mean, you just gotta quit.
Yeah.
Just quit. You just gotta quit, dude.
Yeah.
You just throw it in the garbage. Never pick it back out.
Like,
Don't
if this is
scramble
the
back.
worst thing I do during the day, whatever.
I mean, that was me when I sobered up. I was like, I'm gonna probably keep smoking for a little while. It'll probably be okay, And then it was just, honestly, it's been like, I am a sobriety expert, but really I'm just good at habits and understanding habits, how we form them, how we break them, how they stack together with other things. So I've been on this just quest since getting sober to identify the things in my head that make decisions for me, and I don't like them. So it's like, I don't even do coffee at this point, because I was pissed one time because I left my coffee at home and all I could think about was coffee until I got home, and I was like, no, like, you will not do this to me. I'm not cool with it. I'm not advocating for caffeine prohibition, by the way. I just was like, screw you. Like, I'm not listening to you tell me what to do.
Like, if these things weren't so expensive, I probably wouldn't quit. That's the part that's driving me the most nuts, is I looked at my bank account and saw how much I was spending on them, and it made me sick. I was like, this is the dumbest thing to be spending money on.
Really, I would agree. It's funny because after I got sober, I reconciled a bunch of financial data to try to figure some things out. It wasn't like forensic work to figure out drinking, but that's what it led to, was me just noticing, weird. Ever since I got sober, you never go to this place or to this place or to this place for the exact same charge every single time that you go there. I wonder what that has to do with, but yeah, man.
This one's, I like this one. This is a nice little segue at the end.
Well, Don Bueno.
39 days today, and the algorithm brought them to you.
My guy, truly, that warms my heart. I mean, that's what this is about. I don't like to don the mantle, but the mantle's been thrown upon me, sort of like a reluctant hero type thing, because this wasn't planned. This was never the plan. The plan was tell my story, to just tell my story, and the next thing I know, I had people like that. They're like, thanks for making these videos. So I just kept making them. I just keep making them. And I'm just going to keep making them. I guess the day that people are unthanking me for my videos, I'll rethink what I'm doing. But my whole thoughts are, I almost destroyed a relationship with my wife and my children in my drinking. I have a mentorship group called the Curse Breakers, because I see drinking as environmental. So it's a generational curse. And if I can help other people to also transcend this lifetime through that curse and not pass it on to more people around them, I did my thing. That's what it's all about. So
I like it. I was trying to look through the comments here while you're talking.
Well,
A
okay.
lot of smoking stuff.
Yeah. I don't know who we're, but
I
hey,
appreciate everybody having my back on this one.
it's better than that one time when that dude was just like, "Is that a vape?"
Oh, and then he left.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Bye."
He's
As
like,
soon as you told him, like, it's a vape," and he's like,
"Is the
"I'm
dog
out."
vaping?" Yeah,
Yeah.
he left. Whatever.
Yep, I
He
can't
hasn't
hang out with these hipster cloud guys.
been back.
Yeah, dude. As long as you're not trying to purposely make a giant cloud, I'm cool with it. Hey, damn, dude. Now I got people
Look
rallying
at
around me
this.
a little bit. That's what's
Yeah.
up. I appreciate that.
This one I want to kind of hear.
Oh man.
Or wait, was it? Yeah, go ahead on this one.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just talked her through it. Like we just messaged, and then I was like, "Hey, you should just like throw those away. You should just do this, do that, do that."
Yeah.
And then I just stayed in touch with her. I mean, I still have to this day. It's just like, it's not that everyone's like, you can't help someone get sober. I'm like, yeah, you can, man. Come at them from a place of compassion and empathy. Like,
Yeah.
none of us are enjoying the freaking roller coaster ride. Like, that's the truth. But the other thing too is like, I'm a stranger, and I don't know why, but I was even more apt to listen to a stranger give me advice than like my family. They
Yeah.
could tell me the exact same thing, and it hit different,
Yeah.
So it's like, I've taken the time to just like answer some DMs and do some coaching with people, and I've made tremendous changes in their life. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but just doing that with people. And the reason I'm saying that is like, you could do that with other people in your life too. Like, if they've got a problem and you're sober, like, take the time to just sit with them, be with them, help them through it, because it sucks to do by yourself. So, does that answer your story?
Yeah.
The thing you want to know?
What about this one? I know we've got 7 minutes, and I'm going to pop this one up here.
Oh, bro.
It's choice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Myriad reasons, because there's an infinite number of decisions that conclusions you come to in your head that justify your decision to drink, right?
And that's the key word there, is it's a decision.
Yeah.
Relapse is a decision. It is
the answer nobody wants to hear, but everybody, needs to hear. I actually had somebody come at me brutal about it, like took it to the next level with me. It was like, you know what? You can't rally against alcohol because you do drugs, because you take Advil and you take this, and people have been taking drugs forever, yada, yada, yada. And I was just like, dog, like, watch my other videos and then like go sit in the corner. Like, just go away, leave me alone. Because
thanks for being the poster boy for excuses.
Dude, yeah, what he came down to is he was like, he essentially accused me of being complicit in people relapsing and dying. And I'm like, dog, like, no. No one did that. Like, no one did that except for that person. You cannot. We don't just get drunk. We just don't find ourselves drunk. I don't care what anybody, like, man, I've been there. There's no reason to compare fish stories on who was the drunkest before they got sober. Like, that's not a thing. And I don't care how big the fish is. We all know what it's like. And we also, if we're being honest with ourselves, which, like, that's one of the biggest tenets of my program, is like, stop lying to yourself and be honest. You'll go, damn, I did do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, that's the thing that keeps most people drinking, is that can be damn painful, because you might have to admit to some other people some things you don't want to admit to, right? Mm-hmm. And if I just keep drinking, I can avoid the issue, because it's like, we're all ships at a harbor, and we see somebody that's this like derelict ship just like cruising off into the distance. And even if that ship's done horrible things to us, as long as it's going away, we don't care. But if it comes back to the harbor and it just hitches itself up, then all of a sudden it needs to maybe own up for all the piratey stuff that it was doing while it was, out there drinking. So it's easier for some people to just stay drunk than to deal with their shit, own their shit. I don't ask anybody to make amends. I ask you to own your shit. That's all. That's it. Like, you find yourself in a situation where a thing comes up, then the truth comes out.
Yeah.
That's the only rule. That's the only rule. Like I don't care about you pen paling to somebody from 20 years ago. I don't give a shit about that. But if you get sober and you want to stay sober, then you got to own your shit.
Yeah.
Including your relapse as a decision. So that's not trying to be hard on you, Chancellor. It's just the reality. So yeah, there you go. There,
Yeah.
you didn't even need 7 minutes, man. I got you there in 3.
You got me there in 3. I like it.
I mean, I could.
It's just with personal growth, it is extreme accountability. It's just taking accountability for your own actions in a way that you've never done before. It's the same in relationships. You have to take once you take accountability for your actions and see your role in what's going on, it'll start to fix itself.
Yeah, and I would like to point out that most people will accept a sincere apology. That doesn't mean it's going to fix a thing, right? Like I'm not saying it's going to fix a thing, but like if you're like genuine in owning your shit, you've taken the ammunition away from them. Like nobody had, like, you come in to a situation and you just own up to whatever it was that you did wrong. What do they have? Like, they don't have anything hanging over your head anymore. Like that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And situations then will resolve themselves. Like,
yeah,
it might be a dissolution of that relationship with that person, but you were at least able to resolve it. Like, and you know, when I say like, you just have to own your shit when it comes up, like, and if it's eating at you, then you should do something about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's an unresolved thing, but like, you don't have to like dig, like do this crazy soul searching to figure out, you know, when you stole someone's tiddlywinks or some shit on the playground. Like, I don't care about that. But
no, and it's continuing to do that on a much more regular basis.
Daily.
Yeah.
Like when it happens.
Yeah.
Like, that's the goal, is if you get to the point where you become so mindful, so self-aware of those situations, because they're for me at least, they're similar. They're all like in kind, different in detail. And it's like, you can stop them before they happen. You're like, oh, I have seen this blind curve before, and this time I'm not going to go off the road. Like, I'm not going to let it happen. I think that's what it's all about, right? You know, you're still going to make mistakes. I'm sorry, I promise you. You'll get better at it.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't care what the thing is. Yeah. But you can stop making the mistake of going to the damn liquor store. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah.
Don't even with me that. Yeah. Don't even bother commenting if you got a beef with that. I will not defend that position. It's like, I have 100 videos defending it. So there you go.
There you go. Go look up the videos.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I mean,
and
feeling like a broken
if you have questions, be sure to email them to us.
Yeah, for real. I mean, and I honestly, if you did drop a comment, I might respond, unless you're seriously just trolling me about something I said. Then I'm probably gonna ignore you. I might tell Ryan about it, but that's probably I'll screen cap it and send it to Ryan. Like, look at this guy. So trolls be warned. Print them out, put them on my wall.
Yep.
But yeah, well, I think we're pretty much there, man. What do you think?
We're there. We're at the top of the hour.
Hey,
friend.
Yeah, feel free to email us, like you said. We'll see you guys on Friday afternoon. We don't have a live show this Friday evening. The Friday afternoon show will be, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to call it hosted because we like co-host it together, but
it's the same thing, only we have a specific topic we hit during the middle of it.
And it's my turn to do it. And we'll be covering the role of joy in the process of getting sober.
I like it.
And staying sober.
So, I like it. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, it does a lot of cool stuff to your brain, dude.
Hell yeah.
So that's it.
Thanks, Trisha.
Yeah, I thank you,
Jeff.
all of you, for coming out tonight. Really appreciate it. There's a dang laundry list today. Yeah, Seth, Trisha, Tony, I'm sorry if we miss any of you because I'm scrolling as fast as I can. Sherry, yeah, Oh my God. Oh, how could I forget Don Bueno? I didn't.
You didn't.
Yes, I didn't, Jesse. All of you, Chancellor. Thank you guys for coming out. Hope to see you on Friday.
Yep. We'll see you there.
Bye.